Yep. Yep. How you doing? Think you noticed one thing right away, right? Not in the studio. I'm in the living room today, folks. This evening, a beautiful Friday night, October the 22nd. 22. 22. I'll get it right. Cracking some bubs. Couldn't make it to the studio today, but we're still going to make some picks. We're 8-4 on the year. This is Gamble Guy. I'm live on 12 Ounce Sports. I apologize, I'm not in the fancy studio today, but you know, Daddy's got a date, so couldn't make it down to the studio. But we're going to still do our picks. Like I said, 8-4 last week, and last week was a tough week. Hey, who the hell could have predicted that Wisconsin, the Badgers, not the Honey Badgers, more like the docile Badgers, would only beat Army by 6? That's pathetic. What are they doing? What are they doing? You beat Army by 6? Despicable. In Tulsa, what's wrong with you guys? Hey, what's wrong with the Tulsa? You guys didn't even start playing until the second half. You gave a kickoff return for touchdown, a pick six. I mean, come on, you beat South Florida by 1. I was laying 8. Pricks. Jeez, you put 500 yards up against the Buckeyes and you beat South Florida by 1. Oh, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Got screwed. I got screwed. I'll take it. I'm 8-4. I don't care. I'm making money. You making money? Hey, listen to the Gamble Guy. He didn't make it to the studio, but he's going to give you some picks this week that I think you're going to like. This show's brought to you by BetUS, and we have a promo code 120Z. You get a huge deposit bonus. That's where we're getting all our lines for today's picks is BetUS with the promo code 120Z. They give you 125% deposit bonus, 200%. If you're using the crypto, do you use the crypto? Do you use the crypto? I use the crypto. Do you use the crypto? Do you? I have the Doge. Looking at some Bitcoin, but it's a little high right now. You don't want to buy in high. You buy low, you sell high. You don't buy high, sell low. That would make you a poor person. All right, first game. You can see on the right side of your screen the games we're picking this week. So it's going to be tougher. It's going to get tougher as we go. We can't cherry pick the easy ones every week, but we're 8-4. We're on the plus side. We picked some tough games last week. NFL is always tough, I think. But we're going to start with Ohio State at Indiana. It's a night game. Buckeyes laying 21.5. You know, these odds makers, they're always toying with our emotions. That half point, we know what you're up to. We know what you're up to. You think it's going to be a 20-point game, maybe 21. I'm going to tell you something. It's going to be a blowout. I know Buckeyes night games, Indiana, sometimes that's scary. I got the stats up on screen number 2 over here. Oh! Buckeyes are averaging 48.5. Indiana 22.3. I think that's about 26.2 point difference. Get your scientific calculators out, class, and take a 48.5 minus 22.3. And what do you have? Little gamble guy. Sir, I got 26.2. Ding, 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 ding. You're right. Ohio State scores 26.2 points more per game than Indiana. And that's not even factor in that the Buckeyes stunk the first couple weeks. They're catching their stride. They're going to start whacking fools. They got a tough one on Halloween coming up against Penn State. Indiana's no match. Indiana's not very good. They're not very good. They're averaging 340 yards a game. That's not going to translate to a lot of touchdowns against the Buckeyes. The Buckeyes, 563 yards a game. Let's see if we have any common opponents. Just, for shits and gigs. We're going to see no common opponents. Indiana lost by 14 to Cincinnati. 2 to Western Kentucky they beat. Then they got blanked by Penn State 24 to nothing. Oh! And they got beat by Michigan State by 5. But I don't think Michigan State's very good either. I think that's smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors. I'm taking the Buckeyes 21.5. I'm laying them. I know it's crazy. I know a lot of old timers going to think that's crazy. But the Buckeyes are firing on all cylinders. Last 4 games for the Buckeyes. That's counting the Tulsa game that they didn't play very well. Here's their point total: 66, 52, 59, 41. That means for the Buckeyes not to cover, they're going to have to give up 3 touchdowns to Indiana. I don't see it happening. Don't see it happening. They might give up 3 field goals and a touchdown. Indiana's not going to run with these guys. Buckeyes are going to put up 50 on Indiana. That means with the spread, the Hoosiers got to score 30. Nope. Not happening. Buckeyes, lay the points. There you go. Let's go to the next one. Pull up our fancy dancy graphics compared to our normal weeks. But we got Clemson at Pitt. Pitt's laying 3. Clemson is hot garbage. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but this isn't your young uncle's Clemson. The old saying, it's not your grandpa's Clemson. Well, no shit. My grandpa, if he were alive, would be like 95 years old. Did Clemson even have a team 90 years ago? They're not very good. They only average 20.5 points a game. Clemson! 20.5 points a game. And it's against mediocre competition. Syracuse held Clemson to 17. 17! I got to crack a beer on that one. Syracuse held Clemson to 17 points. Oh, have I died and gone to football heaven. I love it. Hold, please. Boston College held Clemson to 19. NC State held them to 21. You see a theme here? Georgia Tech held them to 14. The only team that Clemson has scored more than 21 points against is South Carolina State. No. Not South Carolina. South Carolina State. You know, like the Division II type, where they scored 49. Meanwhile, Pitt, since their surprising loss to Western Michigan, is rolling, folks. Now, New Hampshire's lower level, 77 to 70, or 77 to 7 to 70. Georgia Tech, they beat 52 to 21, common opponent. Clemson beat Georgia Tech 14 to 8. Pitt beat them 52 to 21. 3 points, really? Is this a joke? Is this some kind of joke? Hey, am I here to amuse you? There's no way. Virginia Tech just found out Pitt can play football. I'm laying the points, folks, and I'm taking Pitt, and I'm not looking back. I'm looking forward to the next college game. Next on the docket that we have is going to be, this is a tough one here. This is the toughest college game, I think, on my slate this week. Oklahoma State at Iowa State. Now, I'm going to admit to you, I watched Iowa State against Iowa. Saw that whole game. I've only seen highlights of Oklahoma State. I'm not going to lie to you. They don't really get me too excited on a Saturday when I'm tipping back a few and checking my parlays. But, I'm taking them this week. Iowa State's one-dimensional. Let's pull up the stats. Now, Iowa State passes for 250 a game. They rush for 190. Okay, they're balanced. I was bullshitting you. But when shit hit the fan against Iowa, they seem to run it way too much. So if Oklahoma State puts any heat on these guys. Now, the other thing about this game is both teams like to run the ball. This could be a quick game. It's not a typical Big 12 game here. Oklahoma State only averages 26.5 to Iowa State's 33.7. So it's going to be a rather quick game. It's not going to be the 50 to 45 type Big 12 game you're used to. Now, they do have some common opponents. Iowa State lost to Baylor September 25th, 31 to 29. And in the very next week, Oklahoma State beat Baylor 24 to 14. Oh! Now, mind your P's and Q's. Here we go. September 25th, the same weekend that Baylor was beating Iowa State, Oklahoma State beat Kansas State 31 to 20. Last weekend, Iowa State beat Kansas State 33 to 20. Pretty similar. Pretty similar. So there you have it. Iowa State's got 2 losses to Iowa, who we found out, are they really as good as they told us they were? Marginal. I don't want to downplay my Purdue team, but they got hammered by Purdue. And that's one of Iowa State's big losses. Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, 6-0. Are they going to fall? I don't know. But I'm looking. And they've had some close games. They beat Boise State by 1. They beat Tulsa by 5. I'll tell you what, this is a tough one. I'm taking the points, though. I'm taking the full touchdown. If Iowa State wins, it's going to be by 4 or 5. That's what I'm saying. I'm 8-4. The whole point of gambling shows is you sit here and you listen to me. I break down the stats for you, and you decide if you're going to tail or fade. What are you going to do here? Both teams give up roughly around the same amount of yards on defense. Both teams are almost identical rush yards allowed. The only slight difference on defense is Oklahoma State gives up about 45 more yards passing than Iowa State does. Take that for what it's worth. But I don't see this as being more than a touchdown separation. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I'm going to commercial. Hey, Gamble Guy Live. We're going to the NFL when we get back. Hang tight. Hang tight. Hey, there's my curse.
"12 Ounce Sports" has a new home for betting. BetUS.com is the official place to place your bets and support 12 Ounce Sports. All you have to do is go to BetUS.com and type in the promo code 120OZE and you'll instantly get a deposit bonus. This is America's favorite sports book. And remember, always gamble responsibly.
How you doing? We're back. Look at the bottom of the screen, folks. Look at it. Look at it. Fantasy football gurus. Oh, we're going to the NFL. NFL associated with daily fantasy, league-wide fantasy. These guys are going to make you money. But you got to go through us. Oh, middleman. Know what I'm saying? 120OZsportsradio.com/fantasy // I don't know what they call it. I'm not one of the kids there. You know what I'm talking? I'm not tech savvy. I'm cigar and beer savvy. And gambling. Check these guys out. They're pretty cool. Oh, here we go. We're going to the NFL. This one was Very tasty when I saw it. I could not believe my eyes. The Ravens are red hot. The Bengals have a banged up Joe Burrow. I know he was back last week. I know they played well. But 6.5, really? 6.5. Let's pull up. Now this site don't show the better stats here, but we're gonna pull up offense, the Ravens fifth. Now I know from a show earlier on 12 ounce sports that Lamar Jackson's 11th in the league in passing and 7th in rushing, which is insane from a quarterback. But the Ravens are better on defense, better on offense. I'm sorry, they're 18th in defense. It says the Bengals are ninth, but somehow the Ravens are ranked better in passing and rushing. Makes no sense. Probably adding in points allowed. Ravens are better on offense. They're firing all cylinders. They got the Bengals at home. They got a 6.5 point cushion, which is insane again. I'm going to pull up their recent matchups. I thought it was going to be on my preview there, but I just don't see the Bengals really hanging within that. The last time they played, January 2nd of this year, the Ravens won 38-3. I know. I know. There was no Joe Burrow. I know that. I'm adding in Joe Burrow, and I'm saying the Ravens will win by 10. So let's go to the schedule. Why can't I find any? I got to get new glasses. Here we go. This is what we're looking for right here. Yards per game. Ravens tied third in the league. Cincinnati 20th. Ravens are better passing and rushing. Points per game, they score more than Cincinnati, 28.3 to 24.7. Defense. Ravens give up slightly more passing, a little less rushing, about the same in points. Third down percentage, Ravens opponents are worse than Bengals opponents. Keep an eye on that, folks. So we're going to go to the Ravens schedule. What have they done lately? What have you done for me lately? The Ravens coming off a 34-6 win over the Chargers, 31-25 in OT over the Colts. That was a short week. They beat Denver 23-7, beat Detroit 19-17, beat KC 36-35 to cap off their 5-game win streak since their loss to the Raiders in overtime. And that's their only loss of the season, by the way. We're going to go to the Bengals. And I'm feeling the Ravens on this one. This is my lock of the week. 6.5. I don't see them letting the Bengals hang around. Bengals coming off a 34-11 win over Detroit. Overtime loss to Green Bay. They beat Jacksonville by 3, Pittsburgh by 2 touchdowns, and they lost to Chicago by 3. That's their last few. Take the Ravens. Lamar Jackson's damn near unstoppable. 11th in the league in passing. 7th in the league in rushing. Bengals are going to have their hands tied in this one. And don't forget, get your fantasy advice. 120zsportsradio.com/fantasy. Going to the next. We got to speed it up here. Try to keep this within 20 minutes. We're running a little late here. Bears at Tampa Bay, -13. I just don't like when they give me big lines like this in the NFL. I think pride kicks in. The last time these two played was October 8th, about a year ago to the day, and the Bears won 20-19, and that was the Tampa Bay Super Bowl team. And the Bears are due for some good things to happen. They're looking slightly better with Justin Fields. Offensive ranks, the Bears are 30th, the Buccaneers are 4th. Defensive ranks, the Bears are 8th, Buccaneers are 10th. Buccaneers number 1 in the league in passing. So let's go to the passing yards per game, and let's see if the Bears even stand a chance. Now, I just saw the line is moved. I'm getting our lines from BetUS earlier today. You better check as soon as you see this at about 10:20 p.m. Friday night before the line moves. It moved down to 11.5. It tells me a lot of money's going on the Bears. So the Bears on defense give up about 218 yards a game, whereas Tampa Bay's averaging 340. There's your difference right there. It's going to come down to the passing game. Rushing game, Tampa Bay almost worst in the league, whereas the Bears are seventh in the league. This is not going to be more than 2 touchdowns. The Bears can run the ball, they can defend the pass. The Buccaneers struggling to run the ball, definitely can pass. Something's got to give there. Take the Bears, take the 13. You'll thank me in the morning. Last one, we got the Lions at the Rams. Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford say, hello, old pal. They're going to get to play each other after leaving each other. I like the Lions. I know, I'm crazy. I lost on them last week, but I had them beating the Bengals. Anytime you give an NFL team 16 points, when's the last time you laid 16? I know it burned you. I know it burned you. It had to. That's a lot of points to give an NFL team. Oh, they're going to take offense to it, for one. And for two, they're not that bad. They got to be due to win something. I'm not even a Lions fan. Don't get me wrong. I can't believe I'm taking them 2 weeks in a row. But they can't be that bad. The last time these two teams played wasn't since 2018, so we can't get nothing out of that one. I know the Lions are a hot mess. I understand that. But when you have each quarterback facing his old team, it means something. So let's look into the stats, though. I mean, the Lions are putting up almost 350 yards a game. They pass for 230. They rush for almost 92. Both teams are even in the rush. The points per game's the difference. The Rams average 11 more points per game than the Lions. Defensive wise, they're about even again. Passing's about even. The only difference is the Lions don't defend against the rush very well, but the Rams aren't a rushing team. So that's not going to help them. And then points per game, Detroit actually averages close. Oh, points given up per game. Lions giving up 4 touchdowns a game, Rams giving up 3. This is more of a gut feeling game. 0-6. Can the Lions go 0-16? They sure can. They sure can. But you're giving an NFL team 16 points. That doesn't sit well with me. I can't cope with that. We're going to look at their losses here. The Cincinnati one was bad. Okay, they lost by 23. But they lost by 2 to Minnesota, 10 to the Bears, 2 to Baltimore, one of the best teams in the league, 18 to Green Bay, 8 to San Francisco. I'm telling you, I like the points in this one. I'd take it. Again, you can tail or fade. You don't have to take all of my advice. I am 8-4 on the year, though. Look at the record, babe. All right, last one. We don't count this against the record. This is just more for fun. F1 this week in Texas for the American Grand Prix. We got a battle between Hamilton and Verstappen for the championship. Hamilton took a penalty recently, cussed his team out recently. Verstappen's pissed off at Netflix. He thinks that they did some propaganda, manufactured some rivalries. This is a big race here. They're down to about 5 or 6 races in the season. Hamilton, I want to add this in if you're going to bet on this one. I'm going to pull this up. Hamilton has won this one. I think it's, here's the article. Hamilton has stood on top of the venue 5 times, including 4 times in succession from 2014. In other words, this is Hamilton's track. This is one of his favorite tracks. Now, he's the only guy minus money. Verstappen was plus 150 this morning. Hamilton minus 140. You might want to roll the dice and go like plus 400 for Valtteri Bottas. He's won recently. But again, this is Hamilton's track. I'd wrap Hamilton into a parlay, a football parlay, because Hamilton's minus money. But he'll up your odds on the parlay. I think he's a lock here. I think he's going to win this race. He owns this track. Some other guys have trouble with this track. I think it's going to come down to him and Verstappen. And he's taking it personal that Verstappen's taken over first. I think I think you'll like that pick. If you wrap it, I'd wrap it into a parlay. Unless you've got $1,000 you want to throw down on Hamilton. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Bring back about, I don't know, 880. It's up to you, bet. Gamble Guy Live, 12-ounce sports. It's been real. Keep it real. One more time for our main man sponsor, BetUS. Sorry I wasn't in the studio this week. Like I said, I have things to do tonight. Maybe sipping on some bubbly. But tomorrow I'll be gambling with you. Sunday I'll be gambling with you. We can all meet back here next Friday and celebrate. You've been watching Gamble Guy Live on 12-ounce sports. It's a beautiful Friday evening. You can catch this replay tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Enjoy your weekend, folks.